Welcome all. How are you doing today, everybody?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Internet.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, Internet.
Yeah. Welcome to your computers and or phones.
That's right. We've got another edition of Axanar After Dark. I am Jefferson Kelly, along with JP from Egotastic Fun Time, Cousin Cheeto from NerdTube, and Alexander Richardson. Do you have a YouTube channel or something that you run?
No, not really. Nothing of note.
So just plain old Alexander.
A mailing address. We can.
I'm just Alex. Go for graphics.
Right, the graphics guy.
Yeah.
Alec will be unable to join us tonight. There is a major event that he needed to attend, and it's going to be something that will be some pretty decent news that we'd like to hear about, hopefully soon. So I'm glad you guys were.
Just quickly, are you saying that this is not a major event? Streaming?
Yes.
Bigger than this.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are a pretty big deal. So yeah, not to lower your importance.
Wouldn't it be cool if you got a call from Skydance?
Yeah.
Hey, Alec, we've seen what you're doing. Come here.
So I want to hear from you guys. See what you've all been up to before we dive into talking about Axanar. So Cheeto, why don't you lead us off? What has been going on in your world? And now the eclipse, I think, over in your area, wasn't it total darkness? Mm-hmm. You were like right in the path of it.
Yep, totality, 100%.
How was it?
And
there?
I'm still waiting for my superpowers to kick in.
Sometimes they take a few days.
Did the world come to an end, as some people predicted?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
No, I mean, the world's already on its way to the end. You know.
That's true.
So, no, it was really cool. I mean, we got totality here. It was really cool to see. Last time we had totality here in this area, which it's still only a couple hours from you, Jefferson. I mean,
right? Yeah, about 4 hours.
Did you weren't in totality though? You were close, but not.
Complete. We did get totality.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
It just depends on the curvature in which it went up. I wasn't sure.
Well, what we got was it was kind of like the temperature dropped, which was crazy. Like, oh my God, that was weird.
It dropped like 10 degrees where we were.
Yes. And it felt like it was kind of dusk. Like it wasn't totally pitch black, which I don't think that can happen at all anyway.
No.
Because you still have that ring of light around the moon. But yeah, I didn't think we're going to get totality because of the path like just edged Cincinnati. But at least from where I am in a suburb of Cincinnati, we were kind of more in that path. So yeah, we got lucky. Went out and watched it with the kids, and there were people, out watching the whole event, watching the thing, and it was pretty cool. I kept telling them that a portal would open up and there'd be this big space crab with dragon heads that would come out.
Yeah.
No, there won't, Daddy.
It looked like a black hole in the sky because I was in. I drove like 2.5 hours so I could see totality, and it looked like there was a hole in the sky.
Yes,
it is a weird scene.
Yeah, it looked like it was CGI, and also looked like a giant Alexa in the sky with the ring around it.
Right.
And it was a white ring. The sun, of course, is yellow, but at least in my area, the light around it was like a white LED light.
Well, the sun is white, from what I understand.
Yeah,
I thought it was yellow. Or like
It's a yellow sun because of its temperature, but
Right.
it is a. But from what I can't remember if it was Neil deGrasse Tyson or if it was someone else who said our sun is actually white. It's just with the way, because white is a mixture of all the colors,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so the reason why it looks yellow to us is because as the sunlight goes into our atmosphere and into like it goes through our atmosphere, it is actually stripped of all of its color except for yellow. Somebody in the comments can double check me on that, but I do remember at least seeing not a TikTok, but like a Facebook reel from Neil deGrasse Tyson on that subject. I'm not saying Neil deGrasse Tyson knows everything, but usually when he says something, I at least think he's 90% in the know about it. So
Yeah.
he's not like me
Right.
who speaks right outside his rear end by watching a Facebook reel, you know.
He doesn't watch the reels. He makes the reels.
Exactly.
Alexander,
but yeah, no. So
sorry about that.
I think it's a yellow because like there's blue stars and then there's red giants and all that, and maybe those are, I don't know about those, but my thought is it has to do with the temperature of the star. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Well, we usually perceive it as yellow, but this time there was no yellow. I just saw white, and that was it. White light.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there was.
No, but it was really cool. I mean, pretty much everything stopped in our area for a whole like day for this 5-minute event that I literally walked outside of work for probably about 15 minutes and looked up and did anyone take their glasses off while they were looking at the actual, like while it was in totality?
Well, I did. Once it was completely covered by the moon, you couldn't see through the glasses anymore. So I took them off, and you can look at it. And I was just seeing it with my bare eyes. Well, these glasses. I was wearing these glasses. Blind. Yeah.
Well, no, the thing is like that. I had people who said I can't see anything, and I said, "Well, take the glasses off now that it's in totality."
Yeah, the sun's covered
without the glasses on, and they're like,
"Yeah,
no, I don't want to go blind." I'm like, "Okay, then you just leave those glasses on, and you just miss the whole thing." So they finally took them off. I said, "Oh, you're right." No,
yeah, you won't go blind unless you're staring at the sun, but the sun was covered up.
Yeah.
Yes.
You only go blind if you stare at the sun.
Well, everybody was going on about, you know, like, oh, you know, you're more likely to get blind if you look at the sun during the eclipse. And I'm like, you're looking at, like, yes, you can go blind by looking at the sun, but you're looking at less sun throughout the entire eclipse. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure how
you're going to go
works.
blind regardless if you look at it long enough, but you're not more likely to go blind during an eclipse than you are any other time.
Now, there may be someone here in the chat that can help shed some light on that. Shed some light on that. Why is it that they say there's a higher chance that you could go blind looking at the sun during an eclipse?
Staring at it for longer than you normally would. Normally, you look at the sun very quickly and you wince, and that's it.
Like there's nothing to look at.
Exactly. But when you're watching it diminish, you want to watch it.
Oh wow!
So I think it's the length of time that you.
But that's why. But that's what I'm saying is like technically you're just as likely to go blind if you look at the sun during the normal day than you are if you're looking at it during an eclipse. Yeah. So it's like, but they're saying you're more likely to go blind.
Yeah, it's just easier to look at it when it's partially covered up because you're not getting a full blast, but you can still go blind. But once it's covered and there's just that halo, you can look at it. But it has to be covered.
Yeah. So speaking of which, a lot of the comments are asking about Alec. So we just want everybody to know that we put Alec on the moon so that he could, you know, be 100% a part of totality. So, you know, he could just, if so Alec is technically right now on the moon.
He's on the moon. I'd like to visit the moon. That would be cool. I
can take it or leave it.
Really? Well, Alex, how's it over in your area?
No eclipse here, unfortunately.
Okay.
But we did have a total eclipse in the late 90s here, and it was we got totality here, and it was fantastic. It was really good, really interesting time. But yeah, nothing much here at the moment. I'm just working away on the Geronimo blueprints, the deck by deck. It's taking me a while because the Geronimo has 2 secondary hulls. It's got 2, and it's basically like a shuttle carrier. So,
isn't the Geronimo in Axanar?
Yes,
in the film.
That's why I'm doing it. Yeah.
I have a question for you. I'm glad you brought that up because I've been wanting to ask this in regards to a ship that has two secondary hulls like that. So there's basically like a main engineering and warp core in each one. Do they operate independently? I don't get how that works.
I'm not putting the warp core in the secondary hulls. I've put it actually in the primary hull because the secondary hull, the secondary hull is shuttlecraft parking, maintenance, and crew quarters, and various ancillary stuff. And obviously, it's got two deflectors as well, which a lot of people don't realize take up quite a lot of space in the internal volume.
Right. Gotcha.
So, but it's because the ships aren't too far advanced from the NX class. They basically got a massive, oversized NX class style warp core. Well, that's how I've drawn it anyway.
Right.
And it sits in the primary hull, right in the middle, nice and snug.
Okay.
And I've already gone through the deck where you can see the power transfer conduits snake around.
So what part of that work, and just to kind of answer what Ping Dynasty was talking about, looking for updates in regards to Axanar. So we're going to talk a little bit about the ship that Alexander's working on because it is part of the film. So we can get a little bit into that. What part of your work is going to be shown in the film? The schematics part or the actual like images of the ship itself?
The schematic, it's more like it's going to be more like it's not going to be seen in the film as such. You'll obviously see the graphics on the Ares bridge. I did a few little things so that I think that they're going to be featuring talking heads or small action scenes from various different bridges. So they needed slightly tweaked graphics to show that this is a different ship.
Right.
Typical Star Trek, redress an existing a bridge set with something else, and suddenly you've got a different ship. So that kind of thing. So you will see my graphics in the background possibly, but the blueprints are more a here, come and buy this if you like it kind of thing.
Right. I look forward to seeing that. Sounds pretty interesting. Sounds like
just like I did with the Ares blueprints. I did them, and that was a Kickstarter. What was it? I think it was a goal for Kickstarter. If we raised so much, then the blueprints were released.
Right.
Like full schematics, like with all the different levels and rooms and everything.
Every deck I did.
And that is a lot. That is quite a lot. Kudos to you.
So the Geronimo is going to be slightly better because I learned a lot doing the Ares.
Did you put any bathrooms in the schematics?
Yes. Actually, yes. The Ares has quite a lot. I even put it, I'm sure I drew one into the Master Systems display type cutaway side-on schematic as well. I always make a point of putting one in there so I can say, look, there it is.
Mm-hmm. One bathroom for the whole ship, but this has a lot of bathrooms. That's great.
The Ares is a rack 'em, stack 'em, pack 'em ship. Alex said she's a warship. She's not designed for comfort. She's designed to just fight. She has a lot of crew. All the crew quarters, almost none of them have ensuite bathrooms. Unlike we see in Next Generation, for example, where everybody's got their own bathroom. They only
used to wash their face. That's all they do in there.
Yeah, on the Ares, there's there are actual sections where you can actually see sonic showers and toilets and everything. But on the Geronimo, because she isn't a battleship, I'm actually putting in bathrooms in, but it's going to be shared bathrooms. Like you've got bunks of 6 to a room, but they've got their own bathroom and a sonic shower.
Nice. Well, that settles that. See y'all next week.
Yep.
And Axanar is actively in post-production, so that is being worked on, and we are certainly looking forward to that and the continuing progress on the post-production. We've had some updates from Alec in case you've missed some of our live streams that we're looking at a end of summer release, but there's also a possibility of having a premiere at the Mann's Chinese Theater. Am I naming the right one? I think JP, he had.
Yeah, that's the place. I don't know if that's the current name, but that's what the name used to be of that theater.
Right. Okay. I thought I might be giving it an old name, and that would be more towards the fall. So there's a couple things there, and that would certainly be a big thing. I would make it out for that premiere, or at least I would.
Yeah,
I could. Yeah,
I'd love to try to make it out to that theater. I've seen a few movies there in my time. It's a great theater. If you get through all the crowd so you can get inside. There's a lot of people out in the front looking at all the footprints and handprints of celebrities from back in the day and nowadays.
It's certainly a place I'd love to visit.
It's a pretty cool area. Just walking around looking at all the different footprints from all the different actors and directors and people in the business. It's a pretty cool thing.
What about the bowling alley? Asked Stephen Ross in regards to the Geronimo schematics.
The famed bowling alley that's supposed to be on the Enterprise, the original Enterprise, Kirk's Enterprise. Mm-hmm. We never see it, but it's supposedly there. I didn't draw one in the Ares. Again, rack 'em, stack 'em, pack 'em, military ship. But I'll try and remember to fit one in on the Geronimo. There are going to be Easter eggs. There are always Easter eggs.
Right.
What class is the Geronimo, did you say?
Geronimo class.
Oh, Geronimo class. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's the one with the big saucer, 2 big secondary hulls, and 2 nacelles up on its
gotcha.
Up above. It's almost like a Miranda class upside down with 2 hulls added to it.
Yeah. Are the nacelles ample?
if you forgive my engineering parlance.
there was a ship like that was shown in Star Trek 2009. I don't know if it was exactly that one. Yes,
but it was close. I remember that one.
It was close. I mean, the designs of these ships do take from the JG universe. The aesthetics of them do look very much like that.
Well, to be very clear, I actually don't mind a lot of the aesthetics from the JJ films. I actually like it when they kind of take the JJ era and they take like the canon timeline and they kind of blend it into like Strange New Worlds is done and Discovery did with the Enterprise and Strange New Worlds. I don't mind that little blend updated look. You know, I don't want it to go like super high tech like Apple Store bridge, but you know, like I do like the 1701 in Strange New Worlds because it pays homage to the original, but yet it's still
it updates it to what we can technically do today.
Yeah, like, and I mean, you do have to suspend your reality where you're like, okay, this set is really not going to like this is not what an actual bridge would look like in the 22nd century, you know, when we are, you know, on the course that we're going. You know what I mean? It was a product of the 60s. That's fine. I just the purist is just like, you can have that and that's fine, but don't complain when the rest of the universe moves onward and upward and updates everything. At least as long as they pay homage. As I said, the only thing that I didn't like about the Kelvin was the bridge, because it was like, they really kind of didn't pay too much homage to the original. They're just like, here's this big lens flare Apple Store. But the rest of the ship and, you know, and like the engineering, so like the inside of the Kelvin ships, I'm not too much of a fan of, but like the exterior designs of the hulls and even the classes, like they still did a pretty good job of paying homage to those standard Starfleet type vessels, at least in the exterior.
Yeah, I find the JJ prize, as everybody calls it, I just don't like it. It just doesn't look right. The nacelles are too close together.
It's huge.
It's hideous.
It's bigger than a Galaxy class.
It's supposed to be, yes, but but when we in Beyond, when the ship's spoilers, when the ship's slowly getting taken apart by the Kral, they run past a window as the camera pans out. You see them run past the window. It shows you, and you take those windows and put it on the visual model. It's no bigger than the original Connie.
Okay, so this is just a clerical error on Starfleet's part.
It's just J.J. Abrams going, mine's bigger and better.
Well,
blame it on the multiverse.
And you also cannot take anything with Abrams, because in the Abrams movies, like, Spock was able to be on some random ice planet and able to see Vulcan get swallowed up by a black hole.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You really, space and time and compare.
There's a lot of artistic license that was used in that movie that would not have been possible.
Which, so I mean, as I said, if you're
to quote a UK science fictiony kind of show, it's all a bit wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
And that's why it's like with the
spoilers.
Let's just calm down a bit, okay?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as far as I can see, in the script, it actually says it's a mirror universe. Why are the ships so big? Well, it's because they came across this big, massive Romulan ship, and like, oh my God, we need to protect ourselves for anything like that again. So of course they made bigger and badder ships.
But all the chairs were normal size.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your canon, if that's your headcanon reason for it being that way, that's fantastic. Because I don't think it's ever really been said in canon that that's the reason why the ships are bigger. But it's like,
well, no, it doesn't say that. No.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's your headcanon, go for it. I'm not going to tell your headcanon's wrong.
I think it can be roughly inferred if you add another non-canon source, which was a deleted scene from Into Darkness. There was this pan down, started at the top, coming down in Admiral Marcus's office, and it was the original design of the Constitution class that was hanging from the ceiling. And so in 2233, when the Kelvin was attacked by the Narada, the Constitution class was at least like being blueprinted and drawn. So
like 10
I think
years prior, right? No.
Yeah, it was launched in 2244.
So it would have been like 25 years, something like that.
Well, no. So 2233 is the Kelvin incident, and in the original timeline, 2244 was when the Constitution class was first launched, roughly around there. So what they're implying is that that was the design. That's where they were going. But then this thing happened with the Kelvin in this big ass ship. They didn't know it was just a huge ship, and it was okay. We need to like retool this entire design, and we need to make it bigger. Need to just go huge, because there were survivors from the attack, and there were, of course, all kinds of scans and telemetry, and Starfleet probably shit themselves when they saw this thing and said, I think we have some dinky ships. We probably need to beef it up. And now, again, nothing I'm saying is canon, but if you take some of these scenes and like sort of infer it from what happened, that's kind of how it happened.
So it makes sense.
Well, but here's the other thing, though. If they had data and telemetry, wouldn't they know it was from like time travel? Like, wouldn't they see the tachyons? Like, when they scan the tachyons?
Possible, yes.
Now you're getting too deep into it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, we can go down this rabbit hole.
Absolutely. I'm a Star Trek geek. I embrace the minutiae.
Yeah, well, we all are. That's why we're here, right?
Wait, This is Star Trek?
It's Star Trek.
Or Star Trek, as some people say.
Oh God, no, not track. Yeah. Don't say Star Trek. That's the worst.
I still see it on the internet sometimes. So I'm like, track.
At this point,
man. Yeah. It's probably done on purpose, though.
Yeah, probably. My friends who aren't into Star Trek, do kind of that kind of stuff on purpose. They're like, "Well, aren't you watching Star Trek?" I said, "Maybe."
I'm experiencing it, not watching it.
Yeah. JP, is there I'm sure we're going to circle around several times about Axanar, but is there anything new with the Orville? So you're the Orville guy that we've got.
Well, the big latest rumor, and they say rumor, but I believe it because I've had some conversations with some people that matter. Now, other people that are friends of the Orville are now saying they've learned that the Orville has been renewed, but they don't know what the timeline is. Well, I've been saying that since last year. But now other people are finally coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, they learned that the Orville's being renewed. So I believe it because I just know that that's true. I don't know what the conditions are. I don't know what the timeline is. Nobody does except for the people at the very, very top, Seth MacFarlane and all that. But yeah, the Orville is supposed to be coming back. Right now, there's no proof. There's no official announcement. I've been saying it for a while now, but I didn't have any proof, so I didn't ever make a video saying, "Oh, the Orville's coming back," blah blah blah, because I didn't want to be the guy that said that and had no proof of it and had no idea how long it was going to be before an official announcement comes out. I figured, I'll just wait. What's the hurry? I'll just keep the light lit and
you don't need to be the scooper.
I don't need to be a scooper. I'm not that type of content creator. Years ago, I thought about being the scooper. And then, after doing this for a few years, I'm like, I don't care. I don't need credit. I don't need the scoop. I don't need that. I just want more Orville. Let's do that. That'll serve the fandom better than anything I could say on the internet. But it's supposed to be coming back. We just don't know when.
I hope it comes back soon because we've been hearing that for quite a while, and I forgot already. I know we had come up with what it was on the last time we talked, but how long has it been since season 3 of the Orville ended?
Gosh, when was that? It's been over a year for sure. Yeah, it ended. I think the finale, season 3 finale, I think it was the very beginning of August. Was that 2022? Was that 2022 or 2023? I don't even know what today is.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I think it'll still be a while.
August 4th of 22.
There you go.
Say I'd lean towards 22.
Yeah. I think even if they started filming today, which I doubt they're going to start filming today, but even if they did start filming today, I don't see, just knowing how much goes into production, how long it takes to film the thing from start to finish with no interruptions and to edit it and all that stuff. I don't see them being able to put out an episode of the new season until maybe the very end of 2025.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it would go into 2026. But who knows? They've figured out a lot of ways to save time with new technology. Seth has the new technology they created I think it's called Viewfinder, which really cuts down on how much time it takes to get effects going with the show. So maybe they're faster than they used to be because they just keep getting better and better. But I don't know. I don't want to presume what the facts are and without any true information.
Right. Don Ranger Power, still a Power Ranger fan, said season 3 of the Orville is his number 2 streaming show of 2022 between season 6 of Cobra Kai and season 3 of High School Musical, the series. The series. I hope that wasn't a stutter.
No, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And then eventually they'll do a sequel. So they have High School Musical, the musical, the series, the sequel. And then they'll go from there.
Title.
I think they were planning on that.
Cobra Kai was a hell of a good series. I was very impressed when that came out. I didn't know what to expect of it. And I thought, wait a minute, the focus of the show is going to be on the antagonist from the first movie. How's this going to work? And it's spectacular. It's such a good
I'm
show.
A few seasons behind on that, but I watched, I think, the first 3 seasons. It was great.
Yes.
I watched season 1, loved it, started watching season 2, got busy with other things, and I just haven't gotten back to it.
That's usually the case. That's what happened with me.
It's a bad thing. Not saying it's because it's bad. It's just
it
wasn't particularly gripping for me. It wasn't making me go, "Oh, I need to watch the next episode."
Yeah, I always had to binge watch a season because I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be compelled to tune in, every week or whatever. I need to binge it all now while I'm in the mood and then enjoy the ride. And then, whenever the next one comes out, I'll enjoy the ride for a day or two or a weekend. But, things happen. We're adults. Things happen in our lives that we have to take care of, and then we forget. But always in the back of our heads, thanks to streaming and the internet, we're like, oh, it'll be there when I'm ready.
Yeah, and speaking of streaming.
You don't have your VCR set to record,
God, I remember trying to get a VCR set up with all the to record something that's going to be coming on tomorrow, and I'm not going to be home, but I got to get it all figured out so it'll do it automatically. Oh, what a mess!
And then what happens? The schedule gets delayed because of something, and you miss the last 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And then there was a car chase. There's a car chase, and the news broke in.
The end of the football game, and you're like, no.
And now the football game's ruined. I know what happened.
Right,
for the younger viewers among watching today, VCR is long before TiVo, long before digital downloads.
Listen, I was one of those kids that sat there and I would watch a show, but I would also record on the VCR, and then I'd pause the recording during the commercials, so there wouldn't be commercials in the final. So when I go back and watch it,
wow, early editing.
Yeah, editing from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what is this news that we keep hearing bounced around in regards to Paramount and CBS selling, merging, whatever it is? Here is my takeaway from all of that. Regardless of who buys who and what does what, I really hope that the incoming, whoever it is, incoming new management executives or whatnot, just do a clean sweep of how they handle the fan films in regards to just all of it. Do it the way that Lucasfilm is.
How they handle the fans, period.
With embracing those fan films. I think, as of course we know, CBS and Paramount, they are, how do I want to word it? Maybe I don't want to word it because I have.
It's my Star Trek.
They are
right.
They are Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Mine.
They don't realize fan films promote their products so they get more fans and make more money. And that's what it comes to. You just have to show them how they make money off of it. And they'll probably embrace it.
It's actually really funny because, you've got CBS that treats its Star Trek fans like garbage, but then you've got Star Wars where the Star Wars fans treat the actors from Star Wars like garbage. It's
somebody's always treating somebody like garbage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is crazy. I don't understand that. I really don't get it. And if it were me, and this is probably why I'm not a shareholder studio executive, I don't know what my problem is, but if it were me, I would not have such issue with fans. And
isn't the whole point is to try to get more fans?
Well, yes, but I think here's the thing: the overriding factor is the money, unfortunately, and the money is what's really talking and driving the ship with CBS and Paramount. Is that they want that complete control of the IP, and I get that it's their intellectual property. Sure, no one's saying that it's not, but there's not a single fan film out there that's in danger of making more than any Star Trek movie or television series. So it's not like there's real competition there that you have to worry about. And that's the thing that I've never quite understood the stance that they have with it in regards to let's be as hostile as we can towards the fan film sector.
They've never quite understood what they've got in their hand. They've never quite understood what makes Star Trek.
Oh, they know what they've got. They've got a cash cow. It's making money as far as they want.
They understand profit, but they don't understand the actual. I mean, there are some people, on the shop floor, the producers, the directors, the people that dress the sets. They get it. We're talking about the Doug Drexlers and the Michael Okudas and the Terry Metallises. They know what they've got. They know how Star Trek works, how to make it. But the people who are making the decisions, who are slapping these ban hammers down on people arbitrarily, they don't know. They don't get it. Yeah. They're just going, oh, it's just some geeky thing. We don't understand why, but it's ours, so mine.
They just know they're paying a retainer for lawyers. I'm like, well, got to find a reason to use these lawyers. Go out there and lawyers.
Yeah, lawyer something up for us, please.
Yeah,
absolutely. They would rather cease and desist something than take it and go, we could make money off this. I mean, Alec has said many times before, and he said it long before the lawsuit even was filed, that he'd offered Axanar to CBS. He says, we'll make it and you then own it. I'm like, that's 100% of the financial risk on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then they automatically own it. And if it makes money, it's theirs. It's 100% profit. No risk involved whatsoever. You know, they could market it and make money from it because fans want these things. But they're just like, no. If it doesn't come from their own creative, I'd say call them creative minds, but they don't really have creative minds. They have creative minds working for them. If it doesn't come from their little sealed room of people making things up, they're not interested.
Could you imagine on Paramount Plus or whatever streaming service is going to be, there is a Star Trek section, and you actually have a section of like fan films endorsed by Paramount or whatever, or CBS or whatever. Like, you know, like you could actually have like fan films that are uploaded onto Paramount Plus that are earning them streaming money, you know, with ads or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just fan-made projects that CBS and Paramount are endorsing, saying, look, we didn't make these, but it's our product, so we're making the money off of it. But that means that so many people get to see all of this love that goes out. And I mean, the other thing is like, then you can bring these people in and make your product like bring it, like from what I've seen from all of Alec's stuff, it's like, bring him in, let him do some writing, let him do some directing with these shows. I don't care if you've got Joe Blow over here that went to filming school. I understand that that's their passion and they actually did the legwork. And Alec did. I don't know if Alec went to filming school, so I actually don't know. But you know, like
I know he's had acting.
He's had acting.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about the film. He's never said anything about
no.
Film
I think
school.
he's the idea man, and he surrounds himself with people who know how to make it happen.
So, but then you can be a producer on something, even with
that's what he is. Like, that's what he
is.
Yeah,
Mark Edward Lewis taught him the editing and producing, and he, Alex said when he taught him that, he picked it up right away. You know, sometimes you just have that knack for the technical part.
Yeah, and I get it. Not all the fan films will make the cut with CBS and Paramount. It's got to be a certain quality. It's got to be And I understand that, like, you know, that you know, but like you have your Axanars and you have your Avalon Universe films. Those are the ones that I'm most familiar with. You know,
the Farragut Forward.
Farragut Forward, yes,
They look brilliant.
Yeah, like, and you bring those in, and you work with the people, and heck, you can even spruce up the sets a little bit, maybe make the lighting a little bit better if you have people that you like to work with. You can have a whole opportunity here to expand your content to very little cost to yourself. And all you have to do is support them. Like, not even financially, just say, here's our section for the, you know, love for the love of Trek, call it that section, for the love of Trek. And that's all you do. Paramount, hire me. Come on, man.
How many people have started wanting to do more with filmmaking just by being involved with the fan film process? I know
fan films is a stepping stone.
I certainly have. Just last night, I was at where I work. We've got this huge green wall. That's part of our green wall, green floor, part of our VR department.
It's green.
Yes, it's green. And I filmed several scenes with Steve Harris, with Harris Film Productions. 3 different Star Trek fan films that I'm going to be in, and I've got my whole fancy setup. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this right. We've got all these lights, and had the thing for my phone to work as like a webcam, just high quality, and also have this wireless microphone, because we have a lot of AV type equipment for this department here. Where I work. So it's like, wow, got access to all of this stuff, and you see what these guys are doing, and you get those ideas of, this is how I want to do things. And I think that another important thing is to really fight in and believe in your work. Now, recently, the Icarus maneuver was taken down from YouTube, and the director of that, Mark Edward Lewis, he has filed an appeal for that. So we are hoping.
I didn't hear that news. Icarus was taken down.
Where have you been?
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm busy working every day.
No, you're not that
He's watching
busy.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I am. No, I'm not watching nothing.
Jeez,
I'm driving around 12 hours a day.
You've been under a rock.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have been. I literally am under a rock right now. I'm in that phase of my life.
Let's address this guy's question. Big J, you seem to. I think you've got the best knowledge of what's going on.
Yes. So Casey Shafsky asked, "Where is Icarus?" So this was actually the film was released on the 30th on March 31st, and on April 5th, because it was on First Contact Day. I believe April 5th was First Contact Day, that it was removed due to the copyright strike by CBS. And I won't go into all of the details. There's certainly a lot you can read up on. AxanarLegalWatch.com will give you some information there, but the film is no longer on YouTube, and the director has filed an appeal with CBS in regards to that to get that put back up. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that works. I read the what's the word I'm looking for? Letter, brief, or whatever it was that came from Loeb and Loeb in regards to their claim, and also the counterclaim by Mark Edward Lewis. I think lots of very intelligently made points that were being made there. However, and this is just my opinion, is that film should still be there and should not have been taken down. In my opinion, I don't see that film specifically being under the guideline restriction that Axanar is. Like, yes, it's related to that, but it's its own separate and different thing. Now, I'm not a legal expert, so I won't jump into legalese or anything like that. I have an opinion like everyone else, and just from what I know and what I've been reading, to me, it certainly feels like I don't know that I want to use the word vendetta, but I feel like it was certainly a very directed, very concerted.
Yeah,
we're watching you and what you do, and as soon as you do the thing, we're on it.
Yeah, and with all the Star Trek stuff out there, why are they picking on anything having to do with Axanar all of a sudden again?
Do you know why I think?
Why?
Alec's sitting in the center seat, and they don't like Alec. They don't like how he took them on and actually beat them at their game.
Right. I really think that I agree with you, Alexander. That's the thing, is that he was in it. And
because he's in it. That's
it was a boom. Okay, we can do the thing. But to be perfectly
that's
honest,
insane.
There's nothing in the settlement that says he cannot be in other fan films.
That's right.
Nothing.
Especially when it's basically a fan film of his own fan film.
Yeah, and that's
right.
really rubbing them up the wrong way, because they thought by suing Axanar they'd just make it go away. But Alec went, you know what? No, I know what I'm doing. I've got legal rights. I'm going to take you on. And they eventually settled out of court, which tells you more than anything.
And they came up with the guidelines, but even CBS themselves said they're just guidelines. They don't expect people to follow them, but they're being followed. I don't understand.
And Icarus follows them.
Yeah.
There were a couple minor things.
A couple of minor things, but nothing to take the video down for.
Right. Like, you didn't add a Star Trek fan production at the end of your title. There was this phrase you used in the end credits. You got to change that. Little things like that. However, what happened was they saw Alec an Axanar and jumped right on it. And I have a feeling that it was certainly a jumping the gun that happened there, kind of a oh boy, let's lick our chops and do a thing.
I read the C&D that they sent to Mark, and it just sounds like a bunch of buzzwords.
There's a lot of buzzwords.
There's a lot of buzzwords in there from the settlement agreement and stuff like that they're just throwing at Mark, hoping that Mark goes, "Oh, sorry, woe is me," and disappears.
I've gone through 2 divorces. I can tell you, I'm used to reading a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. My sister was a magistrate in juvenile court here in town where I'm at, and her and I talk a lot, and so I'm just familiar with the language and how it goes. To be perfectly honest with you, a lot of the stuff is, in my opinion, meant to intimidate you by words. But reading these big long words and phrases, to have you be like, okay, well, I don't understand what this is, so it must be bad. But the thing is that it's like learning Klingon. It's intimidating when you hear it because you don't know what's being said to you, but you think, okay, this is definitely bad. It sounds bad. But once you start kind of getting into it and reading into it, you start to really realize that a lot of it is bluster. There's a lot of bluster there, and there's a whole lot of let's pick on the small guy, because what we'll do is we'll outspend you. That's our goal.
Well, yeah, they know that the majority of people don't have the financial clout to hire lawyers to fight them.
Well, look at the IRS. Billionaires don't get taxed, but a single mom in a shed that didn't report tips. Goodbye.
Small mom and pop shop makes a slight little incorrect something in their tax returns, and boom, the whole weight of the IRS is down on that. That happens here as well in the UK. People that have to declare their own tax. Most people who work for an employer don't have to, but if you work for yourself, you have to file your own taxes.
Right.
And if you make a mistake, you pay for it. If they make a mistake, you pay for it.
Right.
That's insane. This is almost reason. And with the new Star Trek, there's a lot of great stuff out there with a lot of the new Star Trek. Not all of it, but a lot of it. But this gives a great reason to boycott CBS. Maybe hurt them in the wallets a little bit.
I said for a while, I see when they announced Paramount Plus, I'm like, oh, goody. I'm going to sign up for that as soon as it comes to the UK. And then 3 days before the premiere of Discovery Season 4, they pull Discovery off Prime, whereas the only place that you could see it here in the UK legally, and say, right, it'll only be on Paramount Plus. Yeah, but Paramount Plus is only UK and Canada. It'll be on Paramount Plus. They just screwed us over.
Right.
Well,
and I'm like, I am never going to pay for a subscription of Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Wow.
But here's the thing: is that if everybody pirates, and I get why, and I get your situation, because I actually have friends over on my channel NerdTube who also had to go through that. So, but the thing is where you're talking about boycotting Paramount Plus, that is a great way for us to have no Trek anymore. I'm not saying just throw money at them, but I'm just saying is like, for me, I don't subscribe. I cancel my subscription the day new Star Trek shows go off of Paramount Plus. I've got all of the old stuff on DVD and Blu-ray, so I can watch them whenever I want. But I want Paramount to see, even if it's just one little tick down, I want them to see that they lost my subscription when new Star Trek was off my TV. You know what I mean? So like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah,
I get it, and I get I get being upset about it, and that was very poorly handled. And I don't blame if you don't have access to watch it, and you should, which you should have. They should have had it available to you either on Prime, or I'm trying to remember where else you could have watched it over there. Was Hulu? Could you watch it on Hulu or no?
Watch what on Hulu? I'm sorry.
Discovery, or when they went to Paramount Plus.
You could get a subscription of Hulu, but everybody watched it on Prime here in the UK.
Yeah. But if it's not available, I don't blame you guys for being like, well, I'm gonna yo ho ho it. Like I'm gonna You know, like
Arr,
they deserve that. They do deserve that, because if they don't make it available to everybody, especially in this economy and this stature of our technology, like I could see if it's like, oh well, you gotta ship VHSs over across the world. No, we have streaming where it is available to us at and just because there's a little bit of a money problem here where we're working out this deal with the UK. I'm sorry, if you're not going to make it available, then you have every right to yo ho ho it when
absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean,
I still support it kind of, because here in the UK, and I think the Europe as well, Netflix still has all the legacy shows. So TOS up to Voyager, and Enterprise as well. So they've got all them still, all the episodes, and including the high def versions.
Nice. And that's the way to do it. And that's the way to do it, because I mean, one of my favorite DC shows, Young Justice, was one that was really like, people watched that show over and over. I love Young Justice. And when they started doing when it went over to Max, and then people started watching Young Justice on Max, they're like, oh wow, there's an actual following for this show. I guess we should bring it back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like that is the way for us, for all of us to be heard. So I'm just saying, like, for me to boycott Paramount Plus is like, it would only hurt the product. If for you guys, if you have an actual reason to boycott, like, hey, we don't have access to Paramount Plus, and then when it comes in, you're like, well, I'm not giving you your money. You really screwed us over. I get that, but like, calling other people to boycott it would only hurt the product, in my opinion, because then they'll be like, well, I guess there's no more Star Trek. Nobody's watching it.
Yeah, I would never.
Unless that gets them to sell the IP to another company.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah,
just want to throw in one disclaimer for the group real quick. We are not legal scholars. We have opinions. We may interpret a word or phrase a certain way. It may be incorrect. It may be correct. Don't know. But we are interjecting with our opinion and feelings on certain
I think it's
things.
called a discussion.
I think
it's been going on for thousands upon thousands of years.
A discussion?
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
What?
A
lot of people don't understand what discussion means, but
especially in this day and age.
Yeah,
right. It's kind of like when you're watching a football game. Well, you should have called a running play. We're all pros suddenly at football when we're sitting in the chair with the chips and dip, and saying, "Oh, well, that was pass interference," or why didn't they run the ball or give it to this and that, and sure, but I'm not going to look over at you and say, "Oh, okay, well, you didn't play in the pros, so how are you making an opinion or any kind of judgment or assertion as to how this game should be played?" It's a discussion.
I'm an executive producer in my in my own mind. Do you guys mind if I pivot a little bit and just ask a quick question? Or
sure, yeah.
I don't know how long we have left here. But
a few more minutes.
Somebody in the comments has been talking about, they don't want Disney to buy Star Trek. I completely 100% agree. What do you guys think about the Orville going into direct competition with Star Trek? I'm not like they've kind of had this this cohabitation, but like, what if like Orville kind of came back even stronger and they're like, you know what, we're going to do this. And we are in direct competition with Star Trek. We want to be your new Star Trek, because technically,
I think the first season of the Orville was in competition with Star Trek, according to the audience, because the Orville came out, and then 2 weeks later, I think Discovery came out, and people were flocking to the Orville because Discovery didn't meet their expectations. And so right off the bat, especially with that first season, the Orville was getting so many eyeballs on the show because people were running away from, actively running away from Star Trek for that first season for both shows, really.
I say bring it on. Usually competitions, healthy competition breeds healthy products.
Mm-hmm. The Orville it really amazed me because I thought, and I was afraid about it, I thought it was going to be Family Guy in space. That's what I was worried
that's
about.
how they advertised it. Fox advertised it that way because they didn't know know how to describe it.
To be fair, in the first season, they did have a bit of that in there, and it got less and less over subsequent seasons.
The way that they hit issues like old-fashioned 90s Trek did was insane. The stuff that they took on, the hollow addiction, the whole thing with the Mocklins and
the gender identity and
the gender identity.
Season 3 was phenomenal.
There were others. There are certainly others, but it's just it was like, here's the Orville. They're hitting it. Like we're addressing this, we're doing this, and we're putting these things that really make you stop and think. Like, oh my God, when the guy ended up stuck back in time and wanted to. It's the guy. I know that. Gordon. And he was going to get strong-armed out of that place by his best friend.
That was a horrible place to be put in.
Conundrum,
you have to. He's got a family, but by following the rules, you're going to destroy that family. I mean, the family's going to end up not having ever existed.
But then I think of the family that he destroyed by getting with her, because she's supposed to have another family with another guy, and that family never existed.
Exactly.
So it's conundrum.
It's the Tuvix conundrum all over again.
Right.
To get Neelix and Tuvok back, you have to kill Tuvix.
Well, remember with Trip, they had the Trip clone that was just basically there to be harvested.
Yes. Yeah.
Sim. Yeah, Sim.
Yeah, that was quite the moral conundrum right there.
But I like how they tackled it and they let Sim make the choice.
Yeah. Or let him think he made the choice.
Oh, yeah.
As long as he makes the choice we all want.
Yeah, as long as he makes the right choice.
I like the fact in Orville season 3 that each episode was as long as it needed to be, though. Like you notice at the Orville, there were some episodes that were an hour and a half almost.
Almost an hour and a half, a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's so great, like about the Orville season 4 is that they let those episodes breathe. They were like, no, we need this amount. But then you had some episodes that were shorter where they're like, no, we don't need this much time. They weren't constrained by this 45-minute to 55-minute time constraint. They were like, no.
Yeah, that's one of the things Seth wanted. He wanted to stop having to cut stuff. They had to cut stuff out of the previous seasons. And Seth hated that. He's like, I want to tell the story I want to tell. So that's another reason he was excited to move to streaming, is to not be edited down anymore. But the tone of season 3 is the tone Seth always wanted for the show, but he couldn't sell it to Fox unless he put that humor in there, more of the humor in there.
That little bit of Family Guy humor in it.
Season 1 got his foot in the door.
Yeah.
And now once he had it in, he pushed the door wide open.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's fantastic. I love the penultimate episode of season 3. I'm a big Wing Commander buff from growing up. I used to play Wing Commander.
Great game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that game the penultimate episode with all the fighters and stuff. I'm like, I want an Orville Wing Commander show, like a spinoff with pilots, like a carrier, and like with the success of that battle with the who are they fighting? The Mocklins. Yeah, I think in the penultimate episode, wasn't the Mocklin and the
the Kalon.
Oh, there was the Mocklin and the Krill.
Sorry,
the Mock-Krill.
Yeah.
But that episode, I'm right there. I'm like, I want a Wing Commander show. And you know what? You know who the Admiral? I want them to bring in as the Admiral of this new carrier wing of Mark Hamill. Make him the Admiral of that whole, because he played Blair in the old Wing Commander games. So I'm like, good old Admiral Blue Hair.
Yep.
Sturm vom Alk. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I wanted to say thank you for the great compliment that you gave there. And we could go ahead and wrap up here, because my main goal is that none of us sitting here gets sued or gets a cease and desist. So hopefully I've accomplished that. We'll have to find out. If I just drop off the face of the planet, or any of you guys do, let's do like safety check-ins. Like, yeah, I'm still good. I'm still here.
You're still good.
Oh, yeah. I'm
still driving around.
Right. Still driving around. Yeah. I haven't been told I have to stop talking and stop having an opinion, although that
be careful or you get yourself Epsteined.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah. Don't go to jail. Just don't go to jail.
I mean, look, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but we know.
It's quite obvious, isn't it?
There was this this GIF I made, and the title of it was I'm trying to remember, like cell footage from Jeffrey Epstein's cell on the night he committed suicide, and it was the scene from DS9 where Worf jumped up behind and snapped the neck of
Weyoun?
Weyoun. Yes, Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, when Worf snapped Weyoun, was it Weyoun 6?
Yeah, he got a bit cocky and got in front of Worf, who just went.
That was security footage of Jeffrey Epstein committing suicide in his cell, and that was the scene I should.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Maybe he saw a squirrel and just turned his neck too fast.
This is taking a wild turn here at the end.
Yeah, it got crazy.
Before we lose people.
Okay, so thank you, audience, for coming out to sit with us and spend time with us. I hope none of you get sued either, or any cease and desist from talking or having an opinion. So going to keep our fingers crossed there. And I say that in jest, of course. I'm just kidding. For anyone who is not able to get the sense of humor or sarcasm there, man, I'm going to catch all kinds of hell for this.
It's right.
You'll be all right.
It's right in my wheelhouse, so I get it.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. This was another edition of Axanar After Dark, and we will be seeing you again shortly, and want to tell you all to live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.
Have a good time.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Be